My name is Kwabna Chenchen. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our first story, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Alhaji Yunus Hussein, has expressed worry over the delays by contractors working on the Chifu-Praso Dunkwao and the Chifu-Praso Asin Fosu roads. According to the sector minister, government cannot continue to look on while contractors who have received mobilization to work on the road projects through their acts make farmers and other users of the road suffer. The minister has been touring some cocoa roads in the central region with the Ghana Cocoa Board, which Ikoji has more, and is joining me now on phone with those details. So, Richard, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Can you really tell us what more you've gathered from the minister on this very tour? Okay. It appears we have lost Richard Kojonyako on the line there. We've lost him on the line. We'll try and re-establish contact with him, and then we'll bring back to you that conversation. But we can now take a listen to Alhaji Yunus Hussein, who has been speaking on this very issue.
We have received incessant reports and complaints from people living within the corridor that some of the contractors who have awarded the contracts are underperforming. The chief executive of the Cocoa Board to do the first leg of the inspections, and I joined him today. Fortunately, the area that he went to inspect, we don't have much of a problem, except one contractor, Lone Star, who appeared to be underperforming. But the Dunkwao town roads are woefully behind schedule. The Dunkwao Boasu road, the contractor is underperforming. And then continuing, you have another contractor who is Fakol, who is also underperforming. Then we turn our attention to the Dunkwao Chifu-Praso road, where we interacted with the contractors working along the corridor, Mahmoud, Napo, and the KBANA. Now our purpose is simply to do a snapshot inspection of the roads, identify those contractors who are not performing, warn them seriously, and if they fail to heed the warning, we terminate the contracts. You see, because it is important that having awarded the roads, people living within the corridor will feel the presence of the contractors, will appreciate what we are doing to alleviate their hardship. So it should not be a situation where the delay is imposing further hardship on the people living within the corridor.
To some other stories now, and Volta Regional Minister Helen Ntoso has directed district assemblies to enact bylaws against sandwinning activities as part of efforts to deal with coastal erosion. Now, she warns MMDCs who fail to do this will be sanctioned. Madam Ntoso was speaking to join Mrs. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo on government's measures to stop the destruction being caused to homes along the coast as a result of sea level rise due to climate change.
Achiteti, a village in the Volta region, is another badly hit community. More than 50% of the community's lands have been taken over by the sea. The community has now been cut off permanently. Achiteti, we're told here in the Keta municipality, is one of those communities that's been very badly hit as a result of the rise in the sea level. This entire area used to be bare land where residents walk about and get onto the seashore to undertake their fishing activities. But for years now, the rise of the sea level has created a number of smaller water bodies between the seashore and the community, making it impossible for the residents to easily cross. Well, most portions of the community have been cut off by the seawater finding its way beyond the banks. And now, in order for residents to get to the seashore and back, they need to walk through this water body in order to get the activities undertaken. Beyond the submerged homes, residents have had to abandon a number of houses near the sea for their own safety. Roads leading to the community have been buried by the sea and sand. Economic activity in the community has ground to a halt with the collapse of London beaches here.
This community, or Achiteti community, happened to be one of the landing beach for the whole district over here, Kita district over here before. So you see that the ship and other distance, they come down here, offload their goods over here, same some to Adan and some to Kita and other communities around Kita. But because of the disturbance of the sea, all these things, all these properties of the government perished. So now the business of the town is fishing. So no other government work going on in this community. Everything has perished.
Direct human activities, including sand winning and other illegal acts along the sea, have been identified as major contributory factors to the problem.
I know that there's a ban on sand mining. Sand mining is a critical thing. We have what we call the sediment budget. So if you take sand from the coastal area, you are, creating a situation whereby there's going to be a sediment deficit. And once there's a deficit, the system will rearrange to try and correct that, deficit, and that will result in erosion. So, practices that tends to create favorable environment for erosion to occur must be stopped.
Government says it is working to strengthen state institutions to help deal with the problem. Helen Intoso is the Volta Regional Minister.
As for sand winning, we have told that these assemblies, we have meetings upon meetings, and we have told them that they should stop the people from winning sand, because that's also affecting the communities. Because if you win sand, you create some sort of space so that when the sea rises, to definitely hit where they have win the sand. So we've told them to stop winning sand. That this assembly should, they should enact some bylaws that when they get people winning sand, they should be fined.
Are they doing that? Are the district assemblies heeding to this directive you've given them?
I don't think they're doing that yet, but we're going to press on them that this assembly should enact a bylaw where when people win sand, they should be fined heavily.
Now, representatives from the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute have applauded efforts made by the Electoral Commission ahead of the December polls, but this, however, advising that the Commission does more to boost public confidence. Well, this was disclosed in a media interaction earlier today, from where my colleague Jennifer Ekemo has just returned, and she joins me in studio now with more on what transpired. Jennifer, many thanks for joining us. So, indeed, what really do these think tanks seek to project as far as preparations towards the elections are concerned?
Well, these two international bodies, this is not the first time that they've done it, but for this particular election season, this is the first in a series of pre-assessment that they're doing in the country to see how well prepared the EC is, how well prepared the EC can conduct the presidential and parliamentary elections, and to see how far as well peace and security issues as well. Now, they said that the EC has to do more to communicate the electoral process that occurs in the country in order to enhance its own transparency and its credibility. And they also noted that the EC should communicate more with the IPAC members and disseminate any information that happens at IPAC meetings in order to prevent contradictions in the media from the different parties.
Okay, so what more are they saying as far as preparations even towards the elections, particularly on the part of the political parties are concerned?
Well, on the part of the political parties, they were very concerned about issues of hate speech and spurring of religious intolerance and the kind of ethnic rivalry, and they noted that should be looked at. The EC should take particular notice of that, and they also spoke to some security services they were proud of what the security services have done so far as targeting political hotspots and deploying more troops and services there to prevent anything untoward happening.
All right. Jennifer, many thanks for that update. And that was my colleague Jennifer Ekemo, who just returned from that very media briefing with those details. You're still watching this today here on your Joy News channel on MultiTV, also available on your Go TV channel 144 and your DSTV channel 421. We return shortly to tell you some more about accusations being leveled against the opposition NPP by the ruling government. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today to some more stories now. And all is set for the latest episode of the Joy Ballot Box from the Bunohafo region. All through the week, residents of Kintampo North and South and Techiman South have been queuing to cast their ballots on the key issues that will influence their votes in the general elections. My colleague Evans Spencer is getting ready to host tonight's show and joins me live now from the Bunohafo region with some more. So Evans, where exactly in the region are you now, and how are things looking so far, particularly anticipation towards this evening's program?
Well, I'm in Tichiman South, one of the focus constituencies for tonight's show. We're just waiting to step up to the venue. Already the team is there setting up the stage, the lighting, so we can bring it live on TV, on Joy News Channel and also on Joy 99.7 FM. But the people across the three constituencies and throughout the week, as you indicated, I've been talking a lot about the issues the one their candidates, whether incumbent or opposition candidates, address. And today we're going to expand the conversation beyond just the NDC and the MPP, but also include the other key, elements within political elements within the constituencies. The CPP, the PPP also will be there, and the key issues will range from anything from roads to apathy, which we've seen in some of the key constituencies, to water, but also to the microfinance scandal. You remember the Bonahafo region was the epicenter for that scandal, the DKM scandal. We've learned that apparently there are a few more other microfinance scams that we didn't hear about in Accra that had come up strongly. And we are pretty sure that the people will put that to their leaders and hope to get some concrete responses on how they intend to work with them to get their monies back.
Many thanks for that update, Evans Mensah. And Evans Mensah is host of the Ballot Box. Remember, that very program is coming off this evening at 5 p.m. live on your Joy News channel here on MultiTV, and also on radio and subsequently online as well. Do make a date with us. Now, the ruling National Democratic Congress has dismissed suggestions the Electoral Commission is doing all it can to ensure the party retains power. Speaking on the AM show earlier today, General Secretary of the party, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, said it was erroneous for anyone to think the Electoral Commission will set out to favor a particular party, adding that it was rather the opposition NPP that was pressurizing the Electoral Commission into doing its bidding.
Constantly, the Electoral Commission chairperson is under constant criticism and barrage. And the criticism is that the Commission is always reflecting what the views and aspirations of your party is entering into the election.
It's not as if somebody comes out and alleges something, then everybody begins echoing it. There is no basis for that claim at all. Every position that NDC has taken, 80% of those positions are born out of the desire to defend a position that all political parties have taken. And some have come out to say something different from what we took together. And if I participate, for instance, the show we are participating in together, if you come out to say that these things were not said on this show, and I participated in, I have the moral obligation to tell the truth that indeed this was what happened. So the issue about the voting time, the electoral reforms that we have gone to, we've done together, the November elections and all these things, and then what do you call it, the voters register and everything that we have said, we have been very consistently defending positions that, one, our laws provide, two, the systems or the knowledge we have about electoral administration in the country. We speak along these lines, and then decisions that we have taken together as political parties. It will be unconscionable for us to take a decision, we all sign to it, and then we will come out, somebody comes out to fabricate or to misrepresent what decisions we have taken together. And then we say that, well, because we are not electoral commission, if anybody is misrepresenting what we all decided at the commission, we should keep quiet for that person to handle it. And remember, we are contestants. MPP, NDC, we are contestants. Electoral commission is merely the referee. So if we are contesting and you are putting the pressure on the referee, you want the referee to be intimidated, perhaps to toe your line.
You think that's what's happening?
That is precisely, that is what is happening.
So pressure on the Electoral Commission.
They want to pressurize the Electoral Commission with the hope that out of fear or out of whatever, Electoral Commission will break down and begin to toe their line. And so if it is a game of contest, what right do you have to criticize? And we don't have that right.
Now, a group calling itself the Voice of the Nation has given the country's security apparatus a 2-week ultimatum to arrest and interrogate the former chairman of the NPP in the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, Michael Omari Wadie. Now, this follows what the group describes as threats made on the president's life by the former NPP executive. Mr. Omari Wadie is alleged to have threatened the president by suggesting he may not live to see the next general elections if he goes ahead to pardon some 3 contemners serving a 4-month jail term.
You should go ahead and release it.
President Mahama is well versed with the law. So what I'm saying is, if he's daring enough, he should go ahead and release the 3 contaminants.
So release you, so release December 7th, not your president.
If he does that, I bet you he will suffer the same fate as the late President Mills.
Following those very comments, the Deputy General Secretary of the group, Shaibu Shaibu, tells Joy News the group will embark on a series of demonstrations if Omari Wadie is not arrested and interrogated.
We cannot just take it on the face of it, given that we have precedents of scenarios of that nature.
If we go back to the case of Montie 3, they also premised their threats, so to speak, on condition that should the judges do otherwise, the people of this country will not forgive them, and their houses are known. And that suggested that it was a threat on the lives of the judges, and for that matter, they were called for contempt and handed down a punishment of 4 months imprisonment. So if somebody says that if John Mahama thinks that he's a man enough, he should go ahead and pardon the 3 who are incarceration today, it is a threat, because John Mahama is not even going arbitrary to give them pardon, but he is acting on the provision of the Constitution under Article 72, which gives him the right of prerogative of mercy to exercise. So if he does that, it means that he has not done anything contrary to the law for anybody to come and threaten him. And even if you have any threat to issue, it is not the type of threat that Omari Wadie issued. He issued a threat to suggest that John Mahama would not survive to see 7th December elections should he go ahead and give them the pardon. And this is a serious threat on no other person but the #1 gentleman of this country, John Mahama.
So apart from this release, have you made any formal petition to a state institution to intervene in any way?
Yes, very well, because we thought that this is a matter of the public and it is out there for everybody to know. We never made a step back to go to the police to lodge a complaint. What we did was that we petitioned the security agents such as the BNI and then the national security to take it up, to invite him for questioning, and if possible, if there is any merit for them to prosecute him, the institute prosecution for him to be brought before the courts.
So if what you are pushing for is not heeded to by the state institution you've petitioned, what will be the next step for Voice of the Nation?
Well, the Voice of the Nation will definitely have another line of action, which probably may include demonstration to indicate to the people of the world that we have a state institution which does not seem to execute its responsibilities on fair grounds.
Are you giving any ultimatum to these state institutions you've petitioned?
Yes, I think we have given them at least 2 weeks for them to take an action.
Now, why would a man engage in sexual relations with a female who is physically, mentally, and legally unprepared for it? Why would men go after little girls when they are older women? In the following report, journalist Mahmoud speaks with girls between 11 and 13 years who confess grown-up males pursuing them with love proposals.
Set man out our house. Every day he said I should come and visit him, but I don't like that. My parents told me that I should not visit anyone in outside.
How do you feel anytime they call you?
In future, when I'm talking to a man or what, future, even my parents, future with them.
Does it affect you? I'm talking about, does it affect you when they call you, maybe want disturbing you for a contact?
Yes, it affects me. Because I'm afraid of those people. I didn't know them.
Okay, you don't know those who are even calling you for your contacts?
Yes, I don't know them. I've not met them before. Even when I'm going out, I've not seen, but some of them, but those who stay around us, I know them, but some of them are their friends, but I don't know them.
They call me for talking to me. They say they love me in the community. And I report them to my parents and my teachers. I report them to my parents before my teachers.
How do you feel when they call you and say they love you?
I feel sad. Because I don't like those things.
Like the things that is happening is after school, going home, I can meet someone on the road, maybe a scammer, and you call me. Sometimes I won't mind, but sometimes I will mind and go because I don't know what the person is about to tell me. If I go and I hear what the person is about to say, I can tell what I feel to him, maybe no.
Well, in the complete report, which will be playing to you later on, Mahmoud Nuruddin spoke to a few other ladies who are between the ages of 11 and 13 who are admitted to dating men as old as 40 years. But the question, however, remains, how old is too old when it comes to relationships? Derek Ekosam has been sampling some views.
Basically, it has to do with finance. You know, I mean, if you look at the trend now, most girls go into relationship with the idea of, you know, also trying to polish themselves up a little bit. You know, I think it has to do with money, because if you think about it, I mean, why would you want to date a guy whose age is twice or 3 times yours? For me, I think it has to do with finance, money.
Would you go in for a girl that young?
No, like I said, indicated earlier on, the age difference shouldn't be more than 8 years. Say 4 or 6 years will be fine.
How would you feel if your 11-year-old daughter came home one day with a man like your age and she tells you, "Daddy, meet my boyfriend"?
I'll have to talk to her. I'll have to talk to her because a lot has to go into you choosing a guy with a guy who has who is older than you with that kind of age difference. So I'll have to sit you down and talk to you about the kind of relationship you're trying to get into.
I think it's unfortunate because some of these girls we have now, they always want to, let's say, get money quick. So when the parents take them to school, they don't see the need of going to school and they don't want to learn. That's why maybe they are going in for this sugar mummies and sugar daddies? Yeah.
But is it the right thing to do?
It is not a right thing to do.
Why?
They are too young. They should focus on their education. That's the most important thing. And when they finish school and they get to, let's say, any tertiary institution, when they finish, they can find job for themselves and then they can marry. Marriage is there for all ladies, so they should concentrate on their education.
Well, we'll bring you some more on that very story at 3 p.m. on our news and news analysis program, The Pulse. But we can now take you back to the Accra International Conference Center, where the 2016 MultiTV Habitat Fair has opened. Well, my colleague Roland Walker has been interacting with a few of the exhibitors, as well as the Deputy Minister in charge of Water Resources, Works and Housing, Samson Ahi.
Especially your whole impression about this very event, and you talked about sustainability, especially looking at the times in which we are, and now we're trying to make sure we have a recovery for the economy.
Yeah, I think the event is very, very laudable one, because it provides platform for the actors in the housing industry to interact, to also introduce new technology in the housing industry to the players, and also it affords buyers, first-time buyers, opportunity to have access. And as we heard from the gentleman I had a discussion with, most of them are providing reduction sales for first-time home buyers because of this opportunity. And so it is something that I think it should be encouraged. And that's why I commended Joy Habitat for, introducing this concept in the last 7 years. So we appreciate whatever you are doing. And I want to call on the viewers who are planning to buy a home or buy a land or any technology to visit the site to acquaint themselves with what is going on here. I'm sure they will benefit from when they come.
And I saw throughout the rounds that you were going at the various stands, you were particularly asking about cost. Why is that crucial?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out how much it costs 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, because we are talking about affordable housing. And so we are talking about affordable housing. We should know what will constitute affordable to Ghanaians in relation to our monthly income. And also, I've been talking about mortgage. Mortgage concepts, we have to introduce mortgage concepts locally so that people are not, forced to pay at once, because he said that 2 bedrooms is, say, $20,000. How many Ghanaians can part instantly $200,000 pay for 2 bedrooms? So if we have mortgage facility in place, which brings flexibility in the payment systems, many more people can own their own homes. And
well, indeed, that fair has opened, as you might know by now, and is running from now up until Sunday. If you're looking for any home or anything related to the home, remember, the place to be is the Accra International Conference Center, the MultiTV Habitat Fair. You're still watching this today here on the Journey Channel on MultiTV.